Moving your capital closer to your support base is an old political trick. Many leaders have tried it, but it does not always work out as planned. Ali ibn Abi Talib learned this the hard way. Hey everyone, I am Ali, and today we are going to look at one of the most consequential decisions of early Islamic history, Ali's move of capital from Medina to Kufa. We will break down why he did it and what it actually cost him. To understand this decision, we first need to understand the pressure Ali was under. When Ali became caliph, he fired Muawiya ibn Abi Sufyan, the powerful governor of Syria. Muawiya refused to step down. That single moment made a civil war almost inevitable. Then came the Battle of Siffin. It ended in stalemate. The arbitration that followed was a disaster for Ali. After that, a cold war began. Muawiyah was not content with just holding Syria. He was actively working to chip away at Ali's support across the empire. Two rival power centers had emerged, Syria and Iraq. And this was not just political. There were also a deep historical rivalry between these two regions. Syria had been the part of Byzantine world. Iraq had been the part of Sassanid world. The tension between them ran deep. So Ali made his move. In 656 AD, he shifted the capital from Medina to Kufa. This was not a random choice. It was a calculated response to the realities on the ground. Medina was spiritually significant, it was the city of the Prophet, but strategically it had become a liability. It was geographically isolated, it was vulnerable to blockades, and it was far away from the front lines. Kufa, on the other hand, was a military hub. It sat close to the Syrian border. It gave Ali the ability to mobilize troops quickly. It also sat near the fertile lands of Iraq, which meant a steady flow of revenue and supplies for his administration and his army. Most importantly, Kufa was where his most loyal supporters lived. His base was there, his fighters were there, and the political fractures that followed Uthman's assassination, Medina no longer offered the same security. Here is an important thing to keep in mind. The Caliph Umar ibn al Khattab had a very specific policy. He did not allow senior companions of the Prophet to leave Medina. His reasoning was deliberate. He wanted Medina to remain the political center of the empire. He wanted the early Muslims, the people who had known the Prophet, to be close to power, guiding the Caliph on the matters of governance. That system broke down under Uthman. Many senior companions drifted to Iraq. By the time Ali came to power, the old Medinan political world had already started to dissolve. His move to Kufa was in many ways just making that reality official. Now let's talk about what happened after the move. Because the consequences were significant and not all of them were positive. On one hand, it gave Ali military muscle. He was now closer to his troops. He could respond faster to threats. That was the upside. But the downside was very serious. First, it created a legitimacy problem. Medina carried enormous symbolic weight. It was where the Prophet had governed. By leaving, Ali signaled, intentionally or not, that the era of consensus based leadership in the Prophet's city was over. His opponents, especially Muawiyah, used this against him. It became easy to paint Ali as abandoning the tradition. Second, the senior companions who stayed in the Hijaz felt sidelined. They were no longer at the center of decision making. Their absence from Kufa weakened the broad religious authority Ali had at the start of his caliphate. Third, and this is the most painful irony, the very people Ali moved closer to were unreliable. The Kufan tribes were divided. They were prone to internal conflict. They wavered at critical moments, including during the Battle of Siffin itself. Ali's fate became tied to people he could not fully count on. So, what do we take from all of that? Ali did not move the capital because he wanted to. He moved it because the political environment gave him no better option. Muawiyah was consolidating power. The empire was splitting. He needed to be where his army was. But the move had a cost. It permanently ended Medina's role as political heart of the Islamic world. It deepened the fractures of the First Fitna, and it ultimately helped pave the way for Muawiyah and the Umayyad dynasty to take power from Damascus. Ali failed to reunify the Caliphate. He never won the civil war. But that's not the whole story. His legacy was not built on political victory, it was built on something more durable, a spiritual and ethical example that continues to shape Islamic thought to this day. The capital moved, the empire fractured, but the legacy held.